She thought bringing her affair partner to our kids' party would be fine, but I made sure she regretted every moment of that decision. Hello, I've been following stories on this platform for a while, trying to make sense of the infidelity I'm currently experiencing. To give a bit of background, my wife and I have been married for 8 years, though we've been together for a few more years beyond that, and we have 2 small children. This year has been particularly challenging for us, and we've had our share of arguments. However, I never imagined that any of these issues would lead my wife to cheat on me. Lately, I've noticed her becoming distant and uncommunicative, so I decided to address it one evening. During our conversation, she revealed that she wasn't happy anymore and felt that the spark between us was gone. Initially, I blamed myself, thinking that I hadn't been attentive enough as a husband, which is something I genuinely struggled with. However, the following day I discovered a suspiciously affectionate message on her phone. When I looked further, I found that she had been messaging another man for quite some time, with exchanges full of "I love you" and discussions about a future together. I was absolutely fucking devastated. Following the advice I found in many discussions here, I didn't talk to her right away. As an alternative, I took the time to learn more, talk to a few lawyers, one of whom I've now hired, and focus on clearing my thoughts. A few days ago, I approached my wife calmly and asked if she was having an affair. After a few minutes of hesitation, she admitted to everything. To summarize, the affair had been going on for 6 months, and she claimed it was the deepest emotional connection she had ever experienced. I call bullshit on that, but I digress. I laid out a list of boundaries, including cutting off all contact with the other man and attending marriage counseling, among other things. What really made me doubt the possibility of reconciliation was her intense anger when I asked her to sever all ties with him, especially when I insisted she do it in front of me. She even asked to meet him one last time for closure. I stood firm and told her that if he was so important, she should pack her bags and go live with him. She eventually backed down, but not before calling me a controlling asshole. She sent a text this morning, which she showed me, but my instincts tell me she'll find another way to communicate with him. At this point, I don't see much hope for us, and honestly, I'm not even sure I want to try anymore. The only reason I'm considering giving it one last shot is so that I can look my kids in the eye in 20 years and say that I at least tried. We have a marriage counseling session scheduled for tomorrow, but I'm seriously contemplating filing for divorce before wasting any more time or emotional energy. I'm hesitant to move too quickly because of the kids, but is this the right approach? Update 1. The past few weeks have been incredibly challenging, to say the least. However, they have also provided me with a great deal of time for deep reflection and introspection. To update from my previous post, my wife and I did attend counseling sessions following the initial confrontation. I must admit that this particular counselor has been remarkably effective in listening to both sides without assigning blame. The therapist has guided us through this new reality and helped identify some structural issues within our relationship. Although these issues do not justify my wife's behavior, it has been somewhat enlightening to understand them in the context of avoiding similar mistakes in any future relationships. As I mentioned earlier, my wife's initial response to my boundary of cutting off contact with the affair partner seemed to be ignored. I discovered a few brief messages exchanged between them before she completely erased her chat log and phone records. Upon realizing this, I made the decision to proceed with filing for divorce, and she was served just a few days ago. Concurrently, I had an open and honest conversation with my father-in-law, as we have always been close. I felt it was crucial to focus on supporting our children rather than the relationship, since it was clear that my wife preferred to brush everything under the rug. As expected, my wife was initially very upset when her fantasy was shattered, but our therapist intervened and discussed it with her from my perspective, explaining why this needed to happen. It seems she is beginning to understand the real consequences of her actions and is starting to grasp what will be lost from here on out. As I enter this new period of my life, I'm trying to process my identity's astonishing change. I changed from a spouse and parent to someone else, just like my wife. Since I filed for divorce, my wife has been visibly shocked by my actions. She has been extremely emotional these past few days, and I genuinely believe she never thought I would have the strength to walk away. I have maintained some distance between us, yet I have noticed a distinct change in her behavior. On a more positive note, we have managed to communicate more effectively, keeping our discussions civil and centered around our shared responsibilities, particularly our children. I have been very clear with her that she inflicted a deep wound on me, and it is up to her to do the hard work necessary to repair it. I need space and time if there is ever a chance for me to forgive her. I cannot emphasize enough how selfish, self-centered and downright horrible her actions were. Despite this, I have not lost sight of the fact that we still have children to raise, and that is where my focus lies as I figure out how to move forward toward personal happiness. I want to express my gratitude to everyone who provided comments and insights previously. I am genuinely proud that I found the strength not to drown in self-pity, anger, or sadness. Instead, I was able to make the right decisions to preserve my dignity and look forward to a brighter future. Although I do not yet know all the steps I need to take and my emotions are still in constant flux, I am beginning to experience a sense of inner peace. Once again, thank you all. Small update. I am now in the part after serving my sentence and am working closely with my lawyer. What I want to know is if anyone here used the affair fog to get better divorce terms, and if so, how did you do it? My STBXW is clearly deep in the fog, but she can still see and talk to AP. I haven't worried her about it yet because it's a good distraction. What did people agree on that they didn't expect? If you have any tips on how to get through this time and keep her off balance, that would be great. Besides Grey Rock and 180, I've been going out much less often and not telling anyone what I'm doing. Update. Advice on maintaining a Grey Rock strategy during divorce proceedings. Hello everyone. The current situation in my life has been talked about in a few threads, but to give you a quick rundown, my wife cheated on me, I found out, and she told me the standard "I love you but I'm not in love with you" line. She then said that her affair partner was the deepest emotional connection she's ever had, which I thought was BS. After uncovering the full extent of her lies and manipulation, I decided to serve her with divorce papers, and now here we are, a few weeks into the post-serving phase. Due to the circumstances, we still have to live together temporarily, as I want to maximize the time I can spend with my children. I've moved into a separate room, which has allowed me to start establishing some much-needed emotional distance. To cope with the situation, I've implemented the Grey Rock technique with my soon-to-be ex-wife, aiming to keep my responses as bland and unengaged as possible. This helps to minimize any unnecessary drama or conflict. However, I do have to feign some interest during discussions, especially when the kids are around, because they're still quite young and sensitive to the tension in the house. I've also been deliberately making myself less available in the evenings, choosing instead to spend time with friends, focus on working out, or engage in other activities that keep me out of the house. I'm seeking any additional advice on how to navigate this delicate situation. It's hard because I want to keep good relationships with my kids and have even put up with family dinners and other activities we do together for their sake. But I'm also trying to take care of my own mental and emotional health. Are there any other do's and don'ts that could help me manage this process more effectively? Update 2. For those who don't know the story, I've written a few posts about it. Wife cheated, strongest emotional connection ever, love you but not in love, etc. As of now, it's been just over 1.5 months since D-Day and I'm working like crazy to move on. This post isn't meant to give you any new information. I can only say that the process is still going on and that I will let you know when it's time, which will probably be a while from now. If you've been through the process, please share any good tips, lessons learned, things you would have done differently, or news that would be helpful. The tips in the earlier posts have been very useful, and the people who have called out in other ways have been amazing. I'm writing to see if there is anything else I can do to help. Update. She cheated, but somehow I'm the one being made to feel like an asshole. Hey everyone. You can find the details of my situation in my previous posts, but to give a brief summary. My wife cheated on me and found what she calls her greatest emotional connection in some worthless guy. I took action and filed for divorce, and now the process is in full swing. What I'm really looking for here is advice from those of you who have dealt with being painted as the villain by in-laws, friends, or even within your own family, despite being the one who was wronged. After I filed for divorce, I made sure to inform some of the in-laws, as well as my own family and close friends, but I didn't go around broadcasting the details to everyone. I wanted to keep things somewhat private. However, I'm aware that my soon-to-be ex-wife has likely spun her side of the story to others. Since then, I've noticed that I'm getting cold vibes from quite a few of her family members and some mutual acquaintances. While I understand that people tend to side with blood, it's incredibly disheartening when your own family members turn their backs on you, even when you've done your best to be a good father and husband, while she's the one who has acted immorally. My question is, did any of you find that people eventually came around and realized the truth of the situation? Or did you just stop caring and move on? How did you handle it when those close to you seemed to believe her side of the story? Or when they treated you like the bad guy despite the reality of what happened? Any insights or shared experiences would be greatly appreciated. Update 3. Hello everyone. As of today, I'm finally starting to see some closure in the saga that began earlier this summer. Over the past few months, I've been sharing my journey and seeking advice from this community, and I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for the incredible support and guidance I've received. I especially want to thank those of you who reached out to me privately, offering words of wisdom during this incredibly difficult time. Going through this process has been challenging, particularly because my close family is far away. It's tough to be left alone with your thoughts, but I've found that there is some valuable wisdom and introspection to be gained in moments like these. For those who may need a brief recap, here is the summary. My wife cheated on me and tried to keep it hidden. When I discovered the truth, I realized there was no hope for reconciliation because she was too deeply entangled in her affair with the other man. As a result, I immediately filed for divorce. Over the past few months, things have been cold and distant between us, but relatively free of drama as we work to separate our lives within the same house while still fulfilling our responsibilities as parents. The discovery and mediation process moved along fairly quickly. We were able to reach an agreement on a 50-50 custody arrangement for our children, complete with schedules and holidays. Since we live in a no-fault state, the division of assets followed the legal guidelines, with some room for negotiation. I will not go into too much detail right now, and perhaps I will share more in a future post, but I am currently in the process of finding a new place where I can start fresh. The final conclusion is on the horizon, and for the most part, the divorce is nearly complete. Reflecting on this whole ordeal, I have learned quite a few things that I would like to share with others who might be going through something similar. First, do not waste your time with the so-called pick-me dance. I tried it for about a week before I woke up to the reality of her cheating. My soon-to-be ex-wife is still stuck in her delusion, but that is her choice, and she has to live with the consequences. Second, it is crucial to hire a competent family law attorney who understands your goals and can help you navigate the legal realities. I cannot praise my attorney enough for guiding me through this process and helping me reach a fair settlement without incurring outrageous fees. I did a lot of the preparatory work myself, which minimized the back and forth and allowed us to settle things rather quickly. Third, lean on your friends and family as much as possible for support. It makes a world of difference. Fourth, maintaining your mental health is key, and exercise has been a lifesaver for me. I started hitting the gym about a month after discovering the affair, and the physical and mental benefits have been instrumental in helping me stay strong throughout this ordeal. Fifth, seek individual counseling and talk to someone you trust. This has been incredibly helpful for me in processing everything. Finally, I've come to realize through reading countless posts and comments that the decisions of a cheater are entirely their own. My soon-to-be ex-wife gave me all the excuses. I felt like we were just roommates. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Our marriage went off track. You work too much, and on and on. But the truth is, after piecing together the timeline, I now understand that our marriage started to unravel when she allowed someone else into her life who fed her lies and stroked her ego, giving her the extra attention she craved. To justify her actions in her mind, she had to build walls between us and make me out to be the bad guy. Sure, she might have been stressed from the demands of raising kids, managing daily life, and sustaining a long-term marriage, but turning to someone who has already been through 2 divorces and has no moral compass was entirely her choice, and it was a recipe for disaster. What's next? The last part of my soon-to-be ex-wife's affair is still in writing, but I think that bad decisions always have bad results. That's all I have to say about it for now. I want to thank everyone who has helped me through this from the bottom of my heart. I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm also excited about all the new experiences that this next part of my life will bring. I hope I can help someone else in the future. Please don't be afraid to ask for help if anyone here needs it. I'm here for you. Update. Has your ex tried to stay involved in your life even after the divorce? I have a question for the group. My post history provides the details of what I call the greatest emotional connection love story ever. I'm getting closer to moving into my own place, as I have a couple of kids with my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I've also had to stay in our marital home for legal reasons during this process. I've shared a few other threads about this ongoing saga, but fortunately, the light at the end of the tunnel is now in sight. Obviously, I will need to co-parent with my ex, and I am committed to being civil for the sake of our children. However, I have made it clear that she destroyed our marriage, and with that, any possibility of a friendship as well. I have no room in my life for someone who is a lying cheater. Despite this, she has been quite persistent about wanting to remain involved in my life, offering to help decorate my new house and suggesting we keep holiday traditions intact for the kids. Once again, I have stood firm, reminding her that she is the one who chose to ruin our relationship, effectively replacing me, and I'm simply granting her that wish. I've even told her outright that she won't be welcome in my new home. Has anyone else experienced their ex trying to stick around after the divorce? I can't help but think it's an attempt to maintain appearances, as if being friends would somehow make the split seem less severe. So far, her affair partner has not made an appearance, and she's been trying to keep that under wraps, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time before their so-called greatest emotional connection is brought into the open. I have absolutely no desire to be in the same room with either of them, but I'll be ready to watch from the sidelines when that whole mess inevitably blows up. Thanks, as always, to this incredible group for your support. Update 4. As of today, the official decree has been issued and I am no longer married. I also picked up the keys to my new house and will begin the moving process as soon as possible. I opted for a buyout because I felt it was best to start fresh in a place of my own, where I can create new memories. I'm delighted to report that I was really fortunate to find a well-kept house with a large fenced-in backyard, a wood fire pit, a roomy garage, and a prime position just a minute from my existing residence. The property even backs up to a nature preserve, which is perfect for me as an avid outdoorsman and hiker. It gives me direct access to my own little paradise. Some might wonder why I chose to stay so close. The answer is simple. I want to be near my kids because they need to know their dad is close by whenever they need me. Following the advice of this community, I kept my focus on what truly matters, started a workout program, and also dived headfirst into a new career opportunity, which has already paid off in a big way. I haven't spent time worrying about the past or seeking out a new relationship. Instead, I plan to enjoy the single life for a while. My priority is my 2 young kids, and I am fully committed to focusing on them and my personal growth. As for my ex and her affair partner, I've reached a point where I can honestly let go of that mess. Whatever happens between them will happen, and it's no longer my concern. As someone wisely pointed out, when you end up with someone who cheated on their spouse, you're getting someone who is capable of cheating on their spouse. I know I did my best as a husband and father, and now it's time for someone else to appreciate what I have to offer. I want to extend my thanks to everyone who has sent me messages, offered advice, well wishes, and more. My life has depended on this support during these past few months when I didn't have many people nearby to lean on. For those who are just starting down this difficult path, please keep putting one foot in front of the other and take it day by day. I'm not claiming to be an expert in life, but I'm always here if anyone needs someone to talk to. Good luck, y'all. Update. After getting divorced, a lot of big things have happened in my life, mostly good things. I'll have a report on my life soon. So now that I have more time on my hands, I've looked back and seen the life I had planned fall apart. I don't understand how this could have happened so quickly. There has been a lot of time for everyone to think about the who, what, why, and why. But when I look back, I see that my WS and I had a great life ahead of us. We have a home, 2 beautiful children who are no longer in diapers, and the money for their college is being paid for, among many other good things. Their careers are going well after some hard work to get them started. Thinking about this is the last thing that's stopping me, but I really don't get how someone with so much going for them would choose to trash it all and go all in on a serial cheating turd. Do I really need to say it again? Hey, this group? I know it will take me a while to get over this, but when I think about our past and present lives together, I wonder how someone could be so selfish and stupid. I know that the things we want can't be changed, but damn, the whole point of being married is to work through things together and fall in love with each other all the time. Once more, thanks to this great group for all the ideas. I know I say this a lot, but these boards have been great for getting this stuff off my chest. Update 5. Hey everyone, to those who just got through D-Day and are afraid about what life might be like now, I wanted to give you a quick update. I moved into my new place a month ago and have been working like crazy to make it my sanctuary. It's been 6 weeks since the ruling. It feels like home to me now that I have everything I need. My kids have been over a lot of times now, and the switch works well. I've read a lot of times that kids are strong, but it's scary until you see it for yourself. I'm glad to say that they're doing pretty well. We have fun at their dad's house, and they've told me many times that they love being over. For me, having more freedom has been strange at first, but making to-do lists and setting daily, weekly, and long-term goals has helped a lot. I used to be sad, but being busy takes that away. Right now, I'm only thinking about how to improve myself. I've thought about getting back into the scene, but I really don't want to. Instead, I'm focusing on home improvement, exercise, and my kids. Someone said on one of my posts that leaving the house was like coming up for air after being underwater. They were right. I'm nice to my cheating ex, but that's it. There's been no sign of the best emotional link AP yet, WTF, but who cares? Just so you know, I sat outside tonight with a cigar and a few beers and enjoyed the peace and quiet of my property. I thought, getting the hell away from the situation my ex put me in was the right thing to do. It is the hardest, most upsetting and most annoying thing in the world, but I think it will get better over time. In the meantime, I had to kick a cheater out. Cheers everyone. Update. Hi all, Another update from AC 496 once again. Thank you all, you wonderful people, for the comments and support. It's now month 2 of being on my own. My house is coming together quite nicely. My kids have been doing very well and making memories, and I have some fun trips planned in the near future. As per the usual advice, I have kicked my weight training and diving into the next gear and furnished my home gym with some better equipment and also been hitting the heavy bag very regularly. It must be working because during my monthly therapy session, my counselor told me it was great to see progress in both my mental and physical health. That was a nice little boost that things are going in the right way. I have not bothered to date, as look at this point it's early on, and I'm just enjoying the free time, new projects, and time with friends. As the title of the post suggests, has bad luck been falling to bad people? Actually, I don't have a great post ready yet that goes into great depth about how OM and the EXU were destroyed. There is one strange thing though, the best love story ever hasn't been told at all, and OM is still a secret. I wanted to ask, why could this be? Is my ex-wife just playing image management and waiting to reveal all at a time that looks better? But isn't the thrill of the affair dead now that they can't sneak around? I'm no longer around, so I just find it odd. I have a feeling they are still communicating. She makes it obvious she is by hiding her phone still if I'm around during kids' activities. But why? It's like, you wanted this, you snuck around, and claimed this was the most amazing thing ever. Why not blast it out now that the horrible ex-husband is gone? Has this happened to anyone else with their ex and AP? Update 5. Hey everyone, it's almost been 6 months since my split and almost a year since D-Day. Writing this has helped me feel better, but I know that many people have been reading it, responding, contacting me, giving me hope and so on. I've also written this to show the new people who have joined this community that there is another side to the darkness they have entered. Like always, I hope I can help people in need in any small way I can. I'm very grateful for the help I received, and I would always love to return the favor. This is how things are now, 6 months after D-Day. My house is furnished and feels like a home. My kids are used to the schedule and love having friends over. And I've made some new friends in the neighborhood. I'm so grateful that the kids handled this so well. They know that there's dad time and mom time, and they don't complain or cry when they're not here. I'm really into making a crap ton of changes to my house. When I moved in, the house was already filled by an older, divorced man. Some things were left behind, but I see that as a chance to make it my own. Along with that, I set up a home gym with all the equipment I need. I'm now working out and fighting 4 times a week, which is helping my body get back to where it needed to be after this whole thing. At my current job, I also made a big career move and somehow didn't mess anything up. In fact, I got praise for it. I've kept my situation a secret, gotten a raise, and gotten a lot of attention to move up in my job. Yes, I still have problems with my mental health and focusing every day, but I deal with them by going to therapy and working out, and things are getting better. It makes me feel better every day to think about my ex less and less. She's still in dreamland, but I think we do a pretty good job of co-parenting. If she says, let's be friends, I grey rock the heck out of that, but only with kids, and everyone has been nice. I'm sure that everyone who has been following my story has been curious about the story of OM. For now, I can only say that the world's best love story hasn't gone live. However, my kids recently told me that he has been around in a small way. I can't help but laugh because it's been 6 months since D-Day and they're still sneaking around. These are all great signs of a trusted relationship that will last. After realizing that whatever is going to happen will happen, I feel lucky to be away from someone who is willing to lie to their most trusted partner and not feel bad about it. I now have a good chance of making my life even better than it was before. Goodbye and have a nice day. Anyway, that is all for now, and I want to extend yet another big thank you to everyone who follows, comments, and sends rays of hope. I will continue to provide updates and offer support as always. Update. Hi y'all, I wanted to share some thoughts from a great conversation I had with a friend last night over several beers. It's amazing how the world's problems can sometimes feel a little more manageable on a Friday night. For some background, my friend went through a divorce 7 years ago. There are so many strange parallels between our situations, even down to the fact that the birthdays of our ex-spouses are the same. I've mentioned in recent posts that the full extent of the situation with my ex and the other man is gradually becoming clearer. Although I keep contact with my ex to a minimum, my kids sometimes make comments that are hard to ignore. But, it is what it is. Anyway, my friend noticed that I was feeling a bit frustrated and shared something with me that really put things into perspective. He said, think about their lives for a second. Here you have 2 cheaters who ended up together. Just imagine how pathetic that other guy is for manipulating a married woman with children. Now consider this, they have to make it work, no matter how miserable it gets. Meanwhile, you or I, if we meet someone and it doesn't go well, we can move on without much fuss. But them? They're stuck. He has to live in the house you built, deal with your kids, and inherit your selfish ex and her in-laws. They have no choice but to make it work, or else they'll look foolish. Can you imagine what kind of hell that must be? But you're free. I spent some time thinking about that this morning, and it really helped me see things differently. What an awful future they have to look forward to. I just wanted to share this perspective and see if anyone else has reached a similar conclusion or witnessed this dynamic in action. As always, thank you all for being such an incredible source of support. You all are amazing. Update 7. The affair partner is invited to my child's birthday. Hi everyone, AC 496 here. I want to start by expressing my sincere gratitude to this wonderful group, as always. I have something on my mind that I need to share. For those who are familiar with my story, you know I've been making good progress, and I have some significant updates coming soon. I enjoy sharing positive milestones in my journey to help others who are going through similar situations. However, right now, I'm in need of some advice. Here's the situation. My daughter's birthday is coming up this weekend. Last weekend, we had a small party with my family to celebrate. It wasn't anything fancy, but my daughter loved the cake and gifts. This weekend, my ex-wife is having her normal look at how great I am party. It was sent to me, but I just now learned that the other man, the affair partner, is going to be there. Even though I told my ex-wife that this was wrong, she didn't bother to answer. The party is being held at the house that used to be mine, so many of her co-workers, family, and friends will also be there. Many of them knew about the affair. It feels like enemy territory to me. This whole situation is awful, especially since it's supposed to be a celebration for my daughter after the divorce, and I can't shake the feeling that it's all a setup. After discussing this with some other supportive members here, it really feels like I'm walking into a pit of vipers. The only thing that comes to mind is showing up well dressed, with a fresh haircut, and flaunting the results of my hard work at the gym. But honestly, even with that plan, I'm not comfortable with the situation. It feels like my ex-wife is being highly manipulative, knowing exactly how to push my buttons and hoping I'll react in some petty way. I could really use some advice on how to handle this situation. Any thoughts or suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Update. Wow, the responses have been awesome. You guys are all awesome. I will try and respond to each and every one when my day calms down. Update 8. Hey everyone, I want to start by thanking all of you for the overwhelming support I received on my post earlier this week. From the beginning of this ordeal, this community has been my lifeline, providing advice and encouragement that have helped me navigate through everything. I truly cannot express how much it means to me. Now, on to the juicy update, and trust me, this one is worth it. So, I initially told my ex-wife that I would be attending the party. What I didn't tell her though, was that I had changed my mind. I waited until Saturday morning to swing by the house and drop off a card and present for my daughter. To my surprise, the kids had been taken to their grandparents' house for the morning. As I pulled into the driveway in my sports car, I noticed that the other man's pathetic vehicle was parked on the side of the road. I casually walked into the backyard with a smile on my face, catching both my ex-wife and the other man completely off guard as they were setting up decorations. The look of absolute fear on their faces was priceless, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that the other man couldn't even make eye contact with me. All he could manage was a weak, "Oh hey man," which honestly made me laugh. At that very moment, I didn't feel angry. I just felt very sorry for them. I told them good luck because I know they'll need it. Is that growing as a person? I stayed calm and simply said, "I'm here to give my daughter her present, but I won't be joining the party." My ex-wife was visibly shocked and, in the sweetest voice I've ever heard from her, practically begged me to stay. I just replied, "Thanks, but no thanks. I'll head over to your parents' place to give my daughter her gift," and then I left. On my way out, I couldn't resist giving the other man a casual, "See you later bro," before walking away with my head held high. Not even 3 minutes passed before my ex-wife called me, once again pleading for me to come to the party, but I stood my ground and politely declined. After giving the gift a few minutes later, I went to my ex-in-law's house to play with my kids for a short time and then left without saying anything about what happened. As for me, I kept myself busy for the rest of the day. I did some work around the house, got in a much-needed workout, and even went on a date. While the date didn't really go anywhere, she was nice, and at the very least it was a good distraction. My daughter thanked me for the gift I gave her today, but she didn't even ask why I wasn't at the party. As everyone here said, she was too busy having fun to notice. So that's how it all went down. I know that if I had gone to the party, it would have set me back emotionally, and for no good reason. Instead, my ex-wife told everyone I would be there, and with me not showing up and the other man being there, I'm pretty sure people figured out the reason. Now I can enjoy the rest of my weekend without feeling mentally drained and maybe even have a little fun. Update. Hey everyone, this will be a short but rather amusing update to my previous posts. The amount of support I received was incredible, and I want to thank you all for your advice. I'm still smiling from the clever move I pulled off last week. I've had a really good week since then, so here's a little Friday humor for you. To give you some context, since the day I discovered the affair, those who have been following my journey may recall that my in-laws completely cut me off. I understand family loyalty and all that. However, one member of the extended family has continued to reach out, and we've been hanging out regularly. He is truly a man of character. So on Saturday during the party, I got a text from him that said, "Hey man, let's grab some beers this week. Your presence is missed here." Fast forward to a few days later. We met up, started drinking some beers, and got down to discussing what happened. He began by telling me about the awkward mess that the party turned out to be, with people clearly avoiding eye contact and feeling uncomfortable. Apparently, the other man wasn't introduced to anyone, and my ex-wife kept her distance from him during the entire event. Instead, she mostly busied herself with telling him what to do. Meanwhile, my in-laws didn't even bother to talk to him and mostly kept to themselves, looking pretty annoyed. He was clearly out of place and ended up going inside for most of the time, avoiding nearly everyone. There was even a quiet remark among some of the in-laws on my ex-wife's side that the whole thing was pretty classless. I have to admit, I'm slowly moving toward indifference, but I couldn't help but laugh. My absence was clearly understood, and the fact that I had already given my daughter her gift was well known, so it seems like the family fully grasped why I wasn't there. Mission accomplished. Anyway, that's my bit of Friday humor. For those of you who are just beginning to navigate your own tough situations, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of taking the high road, acting with dignity and class, and focusing on living your best life. It may not be the most immediately satisfying choice, but much like weight training, the results take time and are absolutely worth it. Happy Friday, y'all.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.